It's a conservative Supreme Court for the next generation. We have one. Trump is now the most consequential president of our lifetimes. I know that makes people sad. Some people. It doesn't make me sad. It makes me very happy. I'm very proud of this president. I'm happy with what he did, what he's done, and I'm excited about our future. I think this is pretty great. Now, not everyone, like I said, not everyone feels this way. Let me just screen share this nonsense here.
How you doing, Edwin?
I'm doing fantastic.
Oh, Edwin's here. Oh, wonderful, Edwin. According to the HuffPo, women let out a primal scream over Brett Kavanaugh. It didn't matter.
Yeah, that's a pretty good journalism for the HuffPo.
Yeah, somehow Republican men assume the mantle of victimhood. The mantle of victimhood. That's a mantle that a lot of people want to wear on the left. I don't know how we got it, but we got it. We won it. And now look. We've got a conservative Supreme Court for a generation. And as much as they scream, all of these women can scream, and it doesn't matter. Isn't that weird? I just find it weird.
Have they tried talking?
Well, they did. Let's look at Chuck Wendig, who is an author. He writes for Star Wars. Let me read this article first. This article is pretty funny. Edwin, it's great to have you here, by the way. Let me just introduce, now that some people are coming in, it's almost 2:00 in the morning. So I appreciate everyone who's joining me. Of course, I'm on a backward schedule, so this is morning for me. This is the dawn. But let me just introduce people. We've got Edwin Boyette here, the heart and soul of Comicsgate, the conscience of Comicsgate, one might say. Let me just introduce people. We've got
Aloha.
Aloha. Hi, who's echoing? Somebody new.
It's always me.
Yeah.
Hey, good night.
RT Bear. Let me introduce RT Bear. He introduces himself. He announces himself. RT Bear's here with us. How are you, Art?
I am good. How about you guys?
All right.
Never been better.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of the intro. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I want to also welcome Critias. This is the last day for Detective Dead.
Right.
We're here to promote Detective Dead. I think it's in its final 24 hours.
Yep.
And this is perfectly exciting. It's a good time, Edwin, to make Detective Dead go over $20,000, which isn't bad at all for a first go around, is it?
I was surprised.
That's excellent.
Yes, it is. And of course, we've got my good friend Antonio Bryce, who is my co-host of the morning show. Welcome, Antonio, writer of Brand.
I am. How are you guys doing? This is fantastic.
Good.
We let out a primal laugh over Brett Kavanaugh, and it didn't matter. It doesn't matter what anyone does. He's still in the Supreme Court, Antonio. What do you expect here? You would think that if everyone got together and screamed like lunatics, it might make a difference. But it turns out it didn't make a difference. Not to normal people. Quote, "My body is on fire. My body is on fire." That explains this. That explains this face right here. My body is on fire. If my body were on fire,
say it just a little bit more sultry, like.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to say it like somebody has poured gasoline on me. My body is on fire, like that. That's how I think. And I'd be like, like this. I'd be making this face. But you know what? There's a little bit of a smile in there. A little bit of, we're having a good time. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. The message blinked onto my phone in the middle of Christine Blasey Ford's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee last week. It came from a rape survivor I interviewed during 2016's election season, where women were literally becoming ill. They were becoming ill from watching a man who had bragged on tape about grabbing women, by the P word, ascend relatively unscathed to the presidency. Imagine that. 20% of U.S. households tuned in to watch Ford describe what was probably the worst moment of her life, et cetera, et cetera. And at the end of the day, let's fast forward. The government cupped its hands over women's mouths and turned the music up. This is HuffPo's reaction to a Supreme Court justice being appointed. Let's see what Chuck Wendig's reaction might be. Chuck Wendig, there will be renewed calls for civility. Ignore them. They ask for civility as a way for you to grant them complicity in what they do. Civility is for normalcy when things are normal and working as intended. Civility is part of maintaining. I should be reading this in my soy voice. I'm not. I'll start from here. But when that balance is gone, civility does not help return it, but rather destabilize it further, because your civility gives them cover for evil. No, this isn't the same as calling. Yeah, it does work better. This isn't the same as calling for violence. But it is suggesting that you should not be shamed for using vigorous. Let me put this away now. Hang on a second. Why can't I? Oh, see, wait.
Have you ever met Chuck Wendig?
Never have, and I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Oh, I wonder if he talks to people like that in person. That would be amazing.
I hope so. I really hope so. I would be disappointed if he didn't. I'd be disappointed if he didn't. But that is their whole attitude. Let me see. Can I just look around? Why can't I just open this? Let me see. Open. Is that gonna work? No, this is boomerism at its highest level. I understand.
I spent all day learning how to speak SJW.
What did you learn?
Yeah, I learned.
Yeah. And you do that all day long, and you know what? It turns out it doesn't matter. It has no effect. It has no effect on the discourse. You can scream all day long, and it turns out people just don't roll over and give you your way or anything like that. Normal people do make decisions based on other factors and not just on who is screaming the loudest. That is alarming.
People that do that are usually in diapers, aren't they?
I guess so. Yeah, for the most part, in my experience, Ava does wear diapers, and occasionally she'll do that. She does get results, but that's going to end soon. Eventually, in the next few years, her screaming and crying is going to not get her the same results as they do right now. I don't know why that message hasn't been imparted by these people's parents to them. But yeah. So here, this is the situation right now. We have Star Wars writers calling for incivility because they didn't get their way politically. What do you think of this? I mean, what is going on in the world that everything is a call to violence now? Like, if you don't get your way politically, something must be done about it. Right. It's weird.
Well, I think there's just expectations built in from their parents or whoever raised them that they're supposed to win all the time, and that life is supposed to go in their favor always. And when it doesn't, they don't know how to deal with it.
They don't seem to know.
I saw a tweet today where somebody said somebody needs to take one for the team and kill Kavanaugh.
Yeah, I've seen a ton of stuff like that before, but not about Kavanaugh. Yeah.
That's horrible.
It is horrible.
It's these idiots have never seen real violence. They've never had a rifle barrel shoved into their face and pissed their pants from terror. They've never walked through a country that's been war torn and seen what happens when this stuff escalates beyond a certain point. And so you've got I don't know, semi-professional, relatively affluent pansies like Wendig saying that we need to turn things up a notch. Yeah, he'd be the first person to run from that if it actually got turned up a notch.
Indeed. Everyone's hoping someone else will commit a vicious act of violence to turn things around their way. Siren Jag, thanks for $10. So the moment I'm not proud of, I was tired of an old white man whining about old white men making laws. I told him to be the change he wanted to see, and I was sure he had a bottle of Tylenol. That's great. Yeah, so that is the news today. I mean, everything is kind of everything's changing. It's weird that the world is kind of going in a direction that runs counter to the messages that we're receiving in comics and in Star Wars and in the pop culture media that we all love. Reality is kind of running counter to that. I wonder, Critias, do you think that is going to make this that's going to make them talk or get angrier, or do you think it's going to actually eventually change the culture itself?
I think a lot of therapists are about to become rich.
Oh, yeah, people are talking about how they need therapy over this. Edwin, do you need therapy over this?
Yes, no. I think I'll manage with some prayer and reading some scripture and pretty much doing what I do any other day.
It's true. It's true. I'm anyway. In any case, I'm very happy today. Today, I woke up to this. I'm delighted. I'm excited about everything. And let's see. Michael Pernesti in the chat says the funny thing is this is just the beginning, and they're fueling their own defeats. Quite tasty. Yeah, I think the more of this that they do, the more of these weird moments of anger and fury. I mean, Chuck Wendig goes on. I was trying to pull up the rest of his tweets there, and I don't know why I couldn't open them. But it was just like, winter is coming. Wait, let me read them. I'm going to read them. Even if you can't see them, it's worth it to read this tweet rampage by the writer of Star Wars, one of the Star Wars writers. They let these people get away with anything, with absolutely anything. I really, if I wrote something like this, they would haul me off. They would haul me off, most certainly. Let me see here. Damn.
Yeah, these people are going crazy. They're losing a mind out there.
It's amazing. It's amazing though how some of these fantasy merchants think they have an interesting or informed viewpoint on anything.
Yeah.
Oh, now I can't see these tweets at all. That's terrible. How did this happen?
You didn't get blocked, did you?
Well, I mean, I think I've always been blocked, but I thought somebody sent me pictures of these tweets because they were extraordinary. And now, yeah, for some reason, I am having trouble finding them or seeing them. Right, or no. There it is. Wow, civility got us here. It won't get us out. That is alarming.
What a stupid idea. What a stupid idea, because civility is what gets us everywhere. Like, the government can use violence or the threat of violence to enforce a particular law. But if you want more understanding, like all our advances in civil rights and actual justice come from an increase in compassion for each other, right? Viewing each other as neighbors and fellow travelers and not the other. And so civility is key to these things. Incivility destroys compassion and destroys kindness for each other and increases injustice, because when people are incivil to each other, unkind to each other, we're more likely to harm each other.
I don't know why you would think that. I'm not sure what would make you think that we would be more likely to harm each other over incivility. Maybe it's because of this. Chuck Wendig. I'm going to edit out my own curses here. I think that would be or for his curses. I think that would be for the best. Chuck Wendig. They can eat all of them. They can eat a boot covered in winter is coming, you callous necks, you prolapsed souls, you grotesque monsters, you racists and rapists and wretched abusers, you vengeful petty horrors.
Wow.
Some will tell you to be civil because our rage and scorn will fuel the other side, but that double standard in both its ears. Well, if you hadn't said those sassy words and demonstrated anger at our whittled down democracy, I, for a second, might have been convinced not to eat this baby. But fie on you. Your incivility made me eat this baby. I think they've gone nuts.
Did you eat a baby?
Yeah, I haven't eaten a baby at all. I don't recall eating a baby, but I don't know. I guess I'm being invited to.